You think you know him. You think you know him. You think you know me. I don't know. Uh, on SmackDown this week, Edge looks like he is retired from WWE for the second time. The first time was not obviously his choice. He had a serious neck injury, and he thought he would never recover from it. And now he's retired in front of his family and friends in his hometown in SmackDown against Sheamus, who brought him back through training and helped him get into shape. So it's a nice full circle thing for Edge, but it also makes me a bit sad because I am a massive Edge fan. This video is not scripted; it's not planned. I just reacted to that, and I just wanted to talk a bit about Edge, a bit about one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. If this is the last time we see Edge wrestle, I want to just say thank you, Edge, and you're one of the greatest of all time, Adam Copeland, and we really appreciate everything you've done in the business. And as a fan, we're gonna miss you. So there you go. So I just want to talk about it briefly. So Edge is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, if not my favorite wrestler of all time. A lot of people say. So this is all scripted, so I'm just going off on one here. So, just if I go off on a tangent, it doesn't make any sense. I apologize, but this is, as I said, still scripted. I'm just going with it, just going with how I feel and just talking about it. So I was going to say, a lot of people say that they fell off wrestling for a couple of years and then came back because of stuff like the pipe bomb and all that. The moment that got me back into wrestling after I had a lapse in wrestling was the Money in the Bank cash in, the first ever cash in. I remember not really like thinking about Edge as a main event superstar at the time. He was like, oh, he's this tag team guy, he's cool, he's interested. He has this feud with really like uncomfortable feud with Matt Hardy, which was like him and Edge and Matt Hardy with where he had the real life affair with Lita, and they turned it into a storyline which was really uncomfortable. But that being said, he was Mr. Money in the Bank. I didn't really put much thought into it. I just thought, oh, cool, he's got this little thing, this briefcase. We didn't know what the briefcase meant, really, at the time. This was before the Money in the Bank was really established. And he cashed it in on an injured John Cena, becoming world champion for the first time, WWE champion for the first time. And I remember that blowing my mind as a teenager. The first time that happened, I was like, oh my god. He is the smartest person in the entirety of WWE, entirety of wrestling. And then he became one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. The ultimate opportunist, rated R superstar. The heel that is Edge was fantastic. You had this live sex celebration. You had him fighting Ric Flair in a ladder match, or TLC or whatever. And then you had him like cheating to win constantly. You know, you had him like stealing Kofi Kingston's spot in the Elimination Chamber. And like losing his title in one match and then winning it back later that night. It's like little things like that. And it's just, and then also you did the second ever. He got the cash. He got the briefcase of Mr. Kennedy, and then cashed in on the other show on Undertaker for the World Heavyweight Championship, and that wasn't done before either. Like swapping over brands, and it's just like, oh my god, he's such a clever guy. And it's just like, with wrestling, with this stuff like there's leaps of logic, right? And it's like everyone's an idiot in wrestling. Like, why are you so stupid? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Doesn't make any sense that you would do this or that or that. You know, you gotta have leaps of logic where you go like for example, if you're a heel champion, why wouldn't you just get yourself disqualified or counted out every single time until they change the rules on you, right? Like, that's the logic, right? But then Edge would use stuff like that in his matches. Like, I feel like he was the first, in my time of watching wrestling, he was one of the first smart heels, not cowardly chicken shit heels, which really annoy me, and not like a monster heel or everything. He was just a smart heel. He was a smart bad guy, and I always used to appreciate that about Edge. Edge was one of my favorites, as I say, growing up as a kid, and those cash-in moments really stuck with me. And obviously, he was one of my favorites, like always cheating to win, and like I thought it was really cool. I thought he was cool. He had like a really cool entrance theme, really cool attire. He was a bit more like rock and roll metal than like John Cena's like, you know, hip hop babyface stuff. And I was always Team Edge, and Edge was one of my favorites growing up. As I said, he was one of my favorites, and I'm gonna miss him, honestly. Obviously, then he retired in, I believe, 2009. I might be wrong. Fact check. So he retired, and I was devastated. I was absolutely gutted. I just remember it. And then that was where I had a lapse in my wrestling fandom for like one of the first times in my life. I think I stopped watching wrestling for a good couple of months, good couple of years, and then I got back into it eventually. But that did really throw me off, was when Edge retired. It really hit my soul, you know, because I really liked the guy. And then one of my favorite wrestlers after that was Daniel Bryan, and he retired the similar way. And then Daniel Bryan came back, and then Edge came back. So I was like, whoa. Anyway, yeah. So I cut ahead a little bit there. So yeah, Edge retired. I kind of fell off. My wrestling fandom wasn't as big as it was before. I still enjoyed wrestling, but I just didn't watch it as much as I used to. And then yeah, I got back into wrestling, really enjoyed wrestling again, became a wrestling channel. We got this channel up and running and all that. And then on that magical day in the Royal Rumble 2020, Edge returned.
Styles as well. Who's it gonna be?
Oh my God! It's actually happening.
You gotta be kidding me.
No! What the fuck? I was in almost every time I watch him return. I've watched that clip of him returning multiple times, and it always gets me. It always chokes me up. Always makes me teary-eyed. Just like seeing how much it meant to him to be back. It really meant a lot. And unfortunately, as much as Edge is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, I feel like his second run is a bit lackluster, unfortunately. And I don't think it's his fault. I think there's a couple of reasons why. The main reason, obviously, is COVID. So he came back, and then everyone went into isolation. We lost all the fans. Everyone was fighting in front of computer screens. You know, we had the Thunderdome and stuff. We had the COVID era of wrestling, which wasn't great, unfortunately. And that's it's not his fault at all, unfortunately. Then we had the other thing is, I think they kept having Edge being babyface. I know Edge is popular, but he should have been a heel. I feel like Edge as a heel is so much cooler, but so much more fun and so much more interesting than babyface Edge, personally. I think babyface Edge is a bit lame, honestly, but that's just my opinion. And then I think third and foremost, the third reason why I don't think his second run was as impactful as his first run is he was never really a title challenger. He had his match with Roman Reigns where he got buried, literally, and Daniel Bryan, they literally stacked them, and he literally buried them. But I feel like when they brought back the World Heavyweight title, which I know isn't technically the same World Heavyweight title, it hasn't got the same lineage, but it is. Let's be fair, it is the same world title, really, apart from it has a big WWE logo in the middle, right? When they brought that back, Edge was talking about how he needs to win it before he retires and all that, and then they never really did anything with it. I feel like if we had Edge win the World Heavyweight title, even if he got cashed in on by Damian Priest like 10 minutes later, like if he held the title for like 10 minutes, it would feel like he would have gone full circle, would have won the title that he never, would have won back the title he never lost. Sort of, kind of. And I feel like it would have been a nice full circle moment for him. And I don't think we really had a big full circle moment for Edge on his second run, unfortunately, which is a shame. I think we got some cool moments, like him teaming up with Beth Phoenix was pretty cool. I think his Hell in a Cell match with Finn was alright, it was pretty decent. Apart from all the coloured weapons and stuff, that was weird. I liked the greatest match of all time against Randy Orton, even though it was really goofy and silly, but it was fun. Yeah, I feel like the second run of Edge wasn't as good as the first run, unfortunately. But I don't think that was his fault, really, unfortunately. But, hey, I'm going to miss him either way, and I think he's been a fantastic wrestler. And at least, if this match with Sheamus is his last match, it was in front of his hometown, he got to fight the wrestler he wanted to fight, he got to have a nice moment in front of his fans and friends and family, and he didn't have to just retire because of injury. He retired on his own terms, which is what he always wanted, which that in itself is fantastic, and that makes me happy. Yeah, and if that is the last time we see Edge wrestle, thank you, Edge. I finally got to see him wrestle again, obviously at Clash of the Castle in Cardiff, and that was a lot of fun as well. Everyone's singing his theme song here in the UK. We all singing along with it. And we all love Edge, and yeah. So I saw him live, like his first run. I think it was Triple H versus John Cena in the main event of a house show, and then Edge came in and interfered. So that was fun. But then I got to see him again after he came back from retirement in Clash of the Castle, which was really cool. And it was a really cool moment to see Edge back again, and we all got to sing his theme song. And yeah, I could talk about Edge for like another hour. So I'm going to wrap up the video there. Edge, you're one of my favourite wrestlers of all time. If you're somehow watching this, I really appreciate everything you've done for the business. You're an absolute legend and an icon. And hope that you enjoy retirement. If that was your last match, I hope you have a really nice retirement and enjoy your time with your kids and with Beth Phoenix and all that. I think that's awesome. And thank you guys for watching. And until next time, too sweet. There it is, guys. You think you know me. You think you know me. You think you know me.
We're on the road to 5K. Join Potato Club today and too sweet that subscribe button.